Hey everyone, today in this video I will show you various steps to assemble Creality Ender 3 3D printer. So let's start guys. Let's see what is inside the box package. First of all, there is instruction manual for printer assembly. Printer base consisting of heated bed, build plate, binder clips and extruder head. 220 by 40 mm aluminium sections which act as side rails for Z-axis movement. 220 by 20 aluminium sections of different lengths. Power supply which you can switch between 115 volts to 230 volts depending on your country's supply voltage. Supply cable, display screen with control knob, X-axis and extruder motor assembly for X-axis movement and filament supply. X-axis roller assembly, Z-axis motor with coupling, Z-axis lead screw with protective cover, Z-axis limit switch which restricts the Z-axis downward movement to a set level, X-axis belt tensioner, X-axis belt to transmit the movement from X-axis motor to extrusion head, filament spool holder bracket, spool holder, 8GB micro SD card with card reader, filament spool, Allen keys, open end spanners and screwdrivers, cutter, end caps, spatula to separate your prints from build plate, spare extrusion nozzle and push-in tube connector, zip ties for cable management, pin perhaps for unclogging the extrusion nozzle, various screws and T-nuts and bolts. Let's start the assembly with the printer base. Here we can see that the printer base is rocking over a nearly flat tabletop. This needs to be corrected, otherwise our Z-axis rails will not be parallel, resulting in accelerated wear of wheels and printing inaccuracies. The rocking movement is because the base of all the three aluminium sections are not on the same plane. With the printer placed upside down, loosen up the screws on both sides so that the side sections can be adjusted. Take a 20 by 20 section and press it against the center section such that it must rest on the top surface. Now adjust the side section to match with it. After that, tighten the screw. Same has to be done on the other side. Now it's time to assemble the side rails. Both the 20 by 40 sections are not identical. Choose the one with the two vertical counter bores for the right hand side rail. Here the side with the counter bore closer to the end is placed downwards. Counter bore has two dias and the larger one should face the front. Here with right hand side, I mean the right hand side of the person facing the printer front. Use the M5 by 45 screws to tighten it from the bottom. Don't tighten it fully so that it can be adjusted later. Now take the other 20 by 40 section with the smaller threaded holes at the bottom for the left hand side rail. With the threaded holes near the bottom, tighten the screws similarly as done for the right hand side. Here we can see that there is a play in the side rails. Now we have to make these two surfaces on the same plane, and to do that we will be using tri-scale to accurately adjust the RH side rail first. Tighten the screw on the bottom of right hand side rail after the adjustment. Now to align the LH side, press a 20 by 20 section against the RH side rail and adjust the LH side rail as to sit flush against the 20 by 20 section. This step is performed so that the wheels of the Z-axis assembly, which will be moving up and down these two rails, will move in parallel paths, which will improve the printer accuracy and the life of wheels. Now tighten the screws at the bottom of LH side aluminium section after the adjustment. Once you have tightened the screws at the bottom of both right hand side and left hand side aluminium sections, do check if the corresponding surfaces of both right hand side and left hand side sections are on the same plane. Now we need to mount the power supply at the rear side of the RS20x40 section. We will be using M4x20 screws, which will be screwed on the threaded holes provided at the back of power supply. Make sure that you do not apply too much tightening torque, as this may damage the threaded holes provided on the power supply. Now Z-axis limit switch will be installed on the left hand side of 20x40 aluminium section with the help of T-nuts and screws. First loosen the T-nuts and put into the T-slot of LH section as shown and tighten the screws. Z-axis motor is installed with the help of M4x18 screws at the back of the LH side section with the help of two threaded holes at the bottom. Don't tighten these screws fully, as we need to adjust the motor later. Now we will be assembling the Z-axis assembly. Take the 20x20 section of longer length. The side with the hole nearer to the end will be assembled to the X-axis and extrusion motor assembly. Counter bore is provided on the aluminium section so that the screw head for the wheels can sit inside the larger dia as shown. Now use two M4x16 screws and insert it between the two plates of the assembly as shown. A hole is provided on the rear side of the plate through which the Allen key can be inserted and the screws can be tightened. Make sure that the two surfaces should match as shown, and then final tightening should be done. Now insert the extruder head on the guide rail aluminium section. Assemble X-axis roller assembly. Similarly, a counter bore is provided to make provision for the wheel screw head to sit inside. Use two M4x16 to assemble while mating the two surfaces as shown.
As done for the other side, top surface of the aluminium section and the corresponding surface of the plate should be on the same plane.
A centric sleeve on the X-axis roller assembly should be adjusted with the help of open-end spanners such that the distance between the center axis of rollers should be maximum, so that when we will roll down the x-axis roller assembly onto the side rails, the roller wheels should roll freely downwards without getting damaged due to the sharp edges of x-axis rails.
Now it's time to install the belt for x-axis movement of the extruder head. The two crimped metal ends will go inside the slot on the extruder assembly. Wrap the belt around the belt wheels with teeth matching with each other. Pass the belt under the wheels. If the crimped ends are not passing easily under the wheels, you can use a plier and pinch the crimped ends. Now mount the belt tensioner using the T-nuts and screws, but don't tighten the nuts fully. Now wrap the belt around the belt tensioner and secure both of the ends of the belt in the slots provided on the extruder assembly plate. Now put an Allen key between the belt tensioner roller and aluminium section to generate the required tension in the belt, and then tighten the T-nuts and bolts. Take the Z-axis lead screw out of the protective cover and insert one side inside the Z-axis motor coupling and tighten the two screws as shown, keeping the motor shaft and the lead screw on the same axis. In my case, the lead screw was not parallel to the side aluminum section, so I have to loosen the screw on the Z-axis mounting bracket to adjust later on. The movement of the Z-axis motor is not restrained at this point. Keeping the extruder nozzle towards the bottom, slide the X-axis assembly from the top with Z-axis lead screw screwing onto the threaded brass component on the X-axis assembly. Rotate the lead screw to bring down the X-axis assembly. This is the threaded brass component I am talking about. Mount the 20 by 20 aluminium section on the top of 20 by 40 aluminium sections using M5 into 25 screws. Now the lead screw has got aligned properly and we can tighten all the 4 screws to secure the Z-axis motor. Now it's time to fine-tune the X-axis roller assembly slide by rotating the eccentric sleeve, which controls the distance between the roller wheel axes, bringing them closer or farther. Adjust the eccentric sleeve such that the X-axis assembly should move up and down without excessive force. Neither there should be enough play at the X-axis roller assembly slide. Push the Z-axis limit switch connector under the Z-axis limit switch while matching the pins. Now mount the display using M5 by 8 screws at the RS side of the bottom aluminium section. Push the connector into the socket closest to the printer bed behind the display. Check that the bed movement is not restricted by the wires. Now connect the power supply cable red against red. Now push the connector marked E in the socket of extruder motor, X in the X-axis motor and another X in the limit switch. The smaller connector marked X has to be inserted inside the socket of X-axis limit switch. Make sure the power supply red switch is adjusted according to your country's power supply, either 115 volts or 230 volts. Now connect the power supply cable to the power supply input. Push the connector marked Z in the socket of Z-axis motor. Put the end caps on the sides of top aluminium section. This is the push-in tube connector, which has to be screwed onto the extruder motor assembly with the help of open end spanner. Don't tighten it too much as it can damage the plastic part. Push the PTFE tube inside the connector and get it locked by pulling out the ring. Use zip ties for cable management as shown. Adjust the eccentric sleeve of the extruder head roller wheels such that the extruder head should neither run too tight nor there should be too much of a play. In my unit, the table was rocking, so I need to adjust the two eccentric sleeves under the table also. Same thing applies here. Neither the table should rock due to the play between the wheels and the slide, nor it should slide with too much of a pressure. A little play can be ignored though, but not too much rocking. Now put the build-up plate on the heated bed and secure it with binder grips provided along at 4 places. Now put the spool holding bracket on the top of aluminium section with the help of T-nuts and bolts left. Attach the spool holder facing towards the rear. Now your printer is fully assembled. In the next video, I will show you how to proceed with your first print. Please like if you find the video useful and a comment will be highly appreciable. Bye, take care.